Live from Calvary Chapel in Kennesaw, Georgia, this is Evolution of a Song with your host, JGrady.
Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us tonight. We have an exciting lineup of songwriters for you and look forward to sharing an evening of great music and information. Evolution of a Song is sponsored by AMP, the Association of Music Professionals. AMP's mission is to develop, lead, and mentor artists, enthusiasts, and professionals in all areas of the music industry. We continuously strive to improve our service offerings and exceed the high expectations of our members. AMP helps its members reach a level of credibility available nowhere else. Among the benefits our members enjoy are access to educational and networking opportunities like this program, and product discounts from AMP affiliates, and discounted access to business resources. Visit myamp.org for more information on how you can become a member of AMP. Now, I would like to introduce our co-host, Brian Stevens. Brian is a drummer, radio host, author, sound engineer, and educator. So, Brian, tell us what you've been up to, man.
Man, what day of the week is it? Every day's a little different, Grady. Some days I'm just playing drums. That's my core. That's where I started, and that's where I continue to stay. So I still play live gigs here in Atlanta and do some road traveling, but I also do a lot of session work, and it could be CD projects, jingles, music for multimedia, any kind of thing. I do own a studio called Bonzo Tunes Studio, and you can check that out at bonzotunes.com.
So, Brian, let me ask you, is that a full-service studio?
Yes, that is. We can do everything and anything there, from simple just voiceovers for like telephone voice systems, all the way to full production CDs. I had a mariachi band about 2 months ago in there that we were overdubbing on a country song. So if you can think of it, we can do it.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit more about your magazine writing and your shows.
Yeah, well, one other thing that I do a lot of, because I have a heart for education, is I've authored a couple of different books, and I've written a ton of magazine articles for Modern Drummer Magazine, Performer Magazine, a ton of others. And all of them have an educational slant to them, because if there's one thing that's really lacking, it's education for musicians. And you would think that with all the stuff that's out there, especially the internet, that there'd be a lot of great qualified places that people can go. There's really not. There's a lot of information, but not all of it's the right kind of information.
So, you know, we were talking earlier, right before the show, and we were talking about where the music industry is going. And we're very excited to be at the head of that curve today. And Brian has a wealth of knowledge. So I would like Brian, if you would, give us just an excerpt of where you think the music industry is headed.
An excerpt. Let's see if I can do that. For me, at least in the landscape that I see, where I really see the music industry going is one of two very different kinds of paths. The path that I usually steer people towards is the path, what I call the path of the entrepreneur. It's the person that is either a singer, songwriter, band, rapper. It doesn't really matter what the vehicle is, but they have something to say. And so they basically do like any other small business owner, and they open a storefront. They hang out a shingle. And if they're a band or a singer, then they're going to create music in a recorded fashion that people can buy. They're going to play live shows, all that kind of stuff. But they're also going to be their own television station, their own radio station, their own publicist.
That's exciting.
Well, you know, it can be if you like that kind of thing. If you have a heart for running your own business and steering your own destiny, then we're heading into a direction where the sky is the limit. You can build an audience, you can put your message out there, and you can have people become your fans.
Exactly.
And you can do it directly, one-to-one. You can know the names of the people that love the music that you generate. And that's where I generally steer people. But for people that don't have that entrepreneurial spirit, or they want to be pop stars, there's always going to be some form of the record company. And the only caveat that I tell people with the record company is that for that assistance, you're going to have to give up a fair amount of your back end, your money. And so you're basically allowing people to take some of that revenue to do the things that either you don't feel like doing or you don't know how to do yourself. And that's really where we're going.
This is exciting. I'm very excited to have Brian up here because the way Brian is speaking right now, this is exactly what AMP, the Association of Music Professionals, is all about. We want to train and educate and help people learn the way and avoid those landmines. And I'd like to ask you a question while we're there, Brian. Can you tell us what you think about AMP or why you're even here tonight?
Yeah. Well, again, having a heart for education, the thing that I've seen is that the internet is a great place to get information. The only problem is that since it's not curated, it's not vetted, then a lot of the stuff that's out there is just plain wrong. And so we need more organizations that can pull in the right kind of information, that can package it in a way that people can easily obtain, they can get it, and then they can turn around and use it. And that's why I love an organization like AMP, because it becomes a hub. It becomes a place where people can come and get what they need to help build their own career doing whatever they're trying to do with music.
Well, I can tell you I'm excited to have Brian here with us tonight and really look forward to us working together in the future. We've got about to get ready to make some plans here.
Yeah.
And at this point, let's don't forget these guys down here.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and turn it over to you and introduce them, and let's hear some music.
Well, the first guy that we've got tonight is a fella from South Carolina, and I could tell he was from South Carolina by his accent. You're not Georgia.
Southern.
And I'm from Mississippi. I know that accent. So this guy's South Carolina through and through. This is Josh Vickery. And Josh is a singer-songwriter. And the thing that I found interesting about you is that you really started playing and writing and performing at 17.
That's correct.
That's actually kind of late.
Yes, it is.
What was the catalyst that caused you at 17 years old to pick up a guitar and decide you had something to say?
Well, growing up as a child, my father was a part-time pastor, and he was a bass player in a gospel quartet. And I remember them practicing in our living room when I was young, and I was always interested in music. I always loved music, but I guess I was just a late bloomer. It just kind of started appealing to me as a teenager, and once I decided to start playing, it just kind of snowballed, and I hadn't stopped since then.
Cool. Well, I'll tell you what, we're not going to stop you now. How about you play a song for us?
Absolutely. The song I'm about to do is really self-explanatory. We go through life and have those moments where we're not sure if there's anybody there that will get our back and someone there that really cares. And the great thing is God is always there for us. He is always there for us, and that's the name of this song, You're Always There. Sometimes I feel like I'm alone, and I feel all hope is gone, and I wonder if sometimes I can make it through. Then I think of all you've done. You gave up your only son. So when I'm down, Lord, I turn to you, and you roll the clouds away, bring the sunshine every day. When I feel like no one cares, you're always there. Lord, you're always there. When I feel like I'm left out, you erase all of my doubts, and you find a way to make me feel brand new. I can turn my pain to you. Lord, you always pull me through when the weights of this world hurt like they do. And you roll the clouds away, bring the sunshine every day. When I feel like no one cares, you're always there. Oh, you're always there. When I feel like no one cares, you're always there. You're always there.
Very nice. Very nice.
Well, man, as I'm listening to that song, it's pretty obvious to me you got some roots in country music. I mean, it's not R&B music for sure, right? So tell me about this country influence that I'm hearing. This is the first time I've heard this song. Tell me, where are your roots as far as writing this kind of music?
Well, first of all, as you can probably tell, I write fairly simple. I don't get complicated with the way I write, and so that really dates back to the old school country music that is more or less traditional. The way I write simple, and pretty much I get straightforward with the message that I'm trying to get out, and I just keep it simple, and the drawl is just natural. Nothing I can do about the way I sing.
That's a South Carolina.
Yes, it
and
is.
right there.
You know, one thing I've had an opportunity to talk with Josh over how many weeks now? A couple of weeks. We've been on the phone and talking. And one thing I've learned being in the music industry is that those who really have a heart, and when they can express their heart, that's how the music comes out like this. And you know, I commend you, Josh, because it does not have to be complicated. And a lot of people make mistakes when they're writing to try to make it more complicated. Simple is usually better. It really is.
Well, if I may interrupt just one moment.
Sure.
When I write, I really, I'm always trying to display a message and an emotion, and I want it to be so simple that a 4-year-old can understand what I'm saying.
There you go.
4 chords and the truth.
That's it. That's it in a
There you go.
nutshell. That's it. Absolutely.
There you go.
Well, tell me, for a song like that, there had to be a catalyst. There had to be something that got you thinking about that in particular.
Yes, sir.
What moment was that the idea for that song came to you?
Well, I know that no matter how much bad is in my life or how much I think is bad in my life, God is always there for me, and He always pulls me through. And He gives me that strength to endure whatever I'm dealing with.
What was the bad thing, though? There had to be something.
Well, it's a specific event, and you put me on the spot, okay?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Get used to it.
Good for him.
It's going to happen.
But it really was not one specific thing. I look for inspiration everywhere I go, and if I had to think of one specific thing, it would just be that at a certain point in my life, I was headed down a road that I did not want to be on, and I was just shocked at the fact that God loved me so much that He walked with me each step of the way and brought me through each and everything that I did.
Amen.
That's good.
That's basically.
Well, right there, that tells me, because most people walk through life and they don't put that much thought into things. Mm-hmm. There had to be something in your life that happened that got you aligned to that idea that there's a God and He cares, and He has me here for a reason. Mm-hmm. What was that?
Well, I'm trying to dig back in here. Sometimes the wheels don't turn like I want them to, and but most of the time when I write, like I said, I look for inspiration everywhere. So I just, I was just in a moment at that time when I wrote that song that I was just happy, and I wanted to write a happy song. And it wasn't one particular event that I can think of off the top of my head, because like I said, sometimes the wheels don't turn like they should. But I just know in general that God is always there, and He's always there for me, no matter what specific I go through.
And you know one thing, we had a pre-production meeting earlier, and all of us agreed that we're all very fortunate to be here, that God has a purpose
Amen.
for all of us, and that we've all been broken somewhere in different areas in our life. And that's why we're here tonight. And I know Josh's heart. It's been wonderful talking with you and how you've expressed that heart to me. That's what it's all about, my friend. It really is. It really is.
In talking earlier, you had told us about something that happened in your childhood. Right. It was sort of a pivotal point for you and who you are as a person. Can you tell these people about it? Because it was pretty touching.
I would love to share it. As a child, my family and we moved to a new area in the state, which I was born in Anderson, South Carolina. We moved to the small town of Donalds, South Carolina. And my daddy bought a farmhouse just outside of Anderson, between Anderson and Donalds. And we had no means of protection out there in the sticks because what to expect. That's the country coming out.
I'm from Mississippi, brother. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But anyway, you know, I'm just so thankful to be here, and I have so much to be thankful for, and God has put me where I am, and I really feel like I am where I'm supposed to be in my life, playing worship music and music for Him. But the thing that happened to me was I was involved in a shooting accident where I was a pistol that I had found in my parents' bedroom. I was showing it to a friend, and when I went to put it back, I tripped up on my shoelace, and the gun went off and hit me in my right temple and exited the top of my head. And well, the doctors told my parents that only 7% of people that go through this particular survive and are normal. And I mean, I use that term normal very loosely. So,
you know,
but for the most part, I function normally, and you know, and that's one thing that's one illustration of how God has proved to me and my family that He's always there, and He will pull us through no matter what we are in the middle of. He's the calm in the middle of the storm, and that's just.
Amen. That's one heck of a storm right there.
I'm
a father of two kids, and I can only imagine if that was one of my kids, the kind of storm that would create.
Yeah. My father almost lost his faith at that moment because he's afraid he's about to lose one of his children.
Yeah. Amen.
He was wondering why is God doing this to me?
Right.
But you know, we have a very strong faith in our family, and you know, and I thank God every day for that faith and that connection with God. And it's just an awesome thing to really sit in front of people and tell them my story and tell them, you know, God has spared me and put me aside for some reason. And I hope I'm on the right track, and I feel like I am. And I really feel confident every day, more and more every day, that I'm where I need to be in my walk with God.
Cool.
Another song.
Yeah.
Another song.
Yeah. Have you got another one sitting around?
I got one more over here somewhere. Let me see here. All right, and I'll tell you, this song is called Faith in You. And, you know, most of my songs are about looking to God and just trusting Him, or submission to God, and which are very two strong things in a Christian's walk. You know, sooner or later you're going to have to submit completely to God if you really want that relationship you long for. And then, you know, and this song right here is basically just talking about putting your faith in God no matter what you go through. The name of it is Faith in You. For all that I've dealt with, You've always seen me through. It even seemed hopeless, at least a time or two. Here I stand once more in a battle wearing thin. And as long as I lean on You, it's a fight that I will win. Walk with me, give me strength to help me make it through. Hold my hand, ease my pain. I will put my faith in You. I've not been broken, but I sure have been bent. But with your mercy, I know I will rise again. Walk with me, give me strength to help me make it through. Hold my hand, ease my pain. I will put my faith in you. Know what's best for me. You know what's best for me. Walk with me, give me strength to help me make it through. Hold my hand, ease my pain. I will put my faith, walk with me, give me strength to help me make it through. Hold my hand, ease my pain. I will put my faith in you. I will put my faith in you. Lord, I will put my faith in you.
Wow, man. You know, Josh, that's an absolutely beautiful song.
Thank you very much.
You're a very gifted and talented writer, and this is some of the stuff we hear. You know, I'd like you to just maybe share how you structured that song. Did the music come first? Did you get a single idea, or how did that process take place?
You know, like I said, you know, I'm the kind of person, you know, and I think as a songwriter, you can relate with me on this. You look for inspiration everywhere you go.
That's right.
Everywhere you go, and I carry a notepad in my pocket every place I go. I got one in my back pocket right now, as a matter of fact. But you know, I actually was just sitting in church one evening, and I was thinking to myself, I said, you know, Josh, you know, outside of these walls of this church, you're dealing with some things, and you need to put your faith in God a little more. And I wrote faith in you down on a piece of paper, and as I got home, I came up with the chorus. I was driving home, actually, when I came up with the chorus. You know, walk with me, give me strength. And, you know, and that's our plea to God a lot of times. Lord, walk with us and just give us strength to endure this life. And I tried to write the things that anybody out there would be thinking when they are having a conversation with God like this. You know, just, Lord, you know, just ask, you know, those certain things, the Lord, you know, to just be with you at all times. And that's basically what I put into this song. And as I got the chorus, the verses just fell together, and I actually, last thing I added was the bridge, because God knows what's best for us. And that's what I put in there, and I thought that was pretty strong.
Outstanding.
It sounds like a prayer. It really does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, listen, I thank you. I know we all thank you
yes.
for coming and sharing your talent with us and these wonderful songs and talking about what you do. And, yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
Pleasure to be here.
We got another fellow over here on the end, Mr. Luke James. I like to call him LukeJamesOnline.com. He feels uncomfortable when I call him that, but, you know. Luke he's a singer-songwriter from Loganville, Georgia, not too far down the road. And other than just being a singer-songwriter, you've been a worship pastor for like the past 16 years?
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about your story.
Wow. I got started in worship against my will, actually. My uncle had started a small church, and he needed somebody. So he knew I could sing. And previous to that point, I really pretty much sang in the shower. That was, you know, because I was deathly afraid of getting up in front of anybody and doing any singing. But people were all the time, you need to do something with that. You need to do something with that. So I came to church one day, and he threw me up in front of everybody and said, here you go. And I've actually been leading worship ever since that time.
Wow.
Trial by fire.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I tell you what, before we get into too much more, why don't you throw a song up at us?
Okay.
Let's hear it.
This song that I'm going to do is called How Can I Breathe? And Chris Vader over here is going to be accompanying me on this song. So we got Luke and Vader together on one stage. Once upon a time, on a lonely sea of gray, endlessly I drifted with the choices that were made. Oh, I needed someone to reach out their hand. Oh, I needed you, Jesus, you took me in. Once upon a time, neath a castle made of sand, a fairy tale was ending as the waves came crashing in. Oh, I was so helpless, in need of your touch. Oh, you saw through my faults, found someone you love. So how can I breathe? How can I take one single step without you holding on to me? You are the one I'm living for. The song that I sing, my everything. Lord, I give you all I am, for all that you are. Now the tide has shifted, I stand here unafraid. The weight that held me lifted, my life forever changed. Oh, I finally found purpose, your ocean of grace. Oh, you have filled me with hope that won't ever fade. So how can I breathe? How can I take one single step without you holding on to me? You are the one I'm living for. The song that I sing, my everything. Lord, I give you all I am, for all that you were. What kind of love is this that you have lavished on me? Transcending everything I ever thought love could be. What is the breadth, the depth, the length, the height of this love? Words aren't here, love, to tell of your love. So how can I breathe? How can I take one single step without you holding on to me. You are the one I'm living for. The song that I sing, my everything. Lord, I give you all I am for all that you are. Oh, for all that you are. Once upon a time, on a lonely sea of green,
Woo.
Awesome.
You know, I've just got to say this. I've had a pleasure of talking with Luke for a few weeks now as well, and you can tell that music is a true passion in his life. There's no doubt about that, right, Luke? Is it fair to say that it's a true passion? But you know, I think there's something a little more important here that I'd like to just bring to this tonight, because I have got to find out you have 2 kids, and you've got
I've got 5 and 1 on the way.
5. Where did I hear 2? You told me 2. And 1 on the way.
Yeah.
So now this is a question I've got to know. I mean, because I can't answer this. Well, I'm going to answer a lot of music questions. How do you balance career, family, and let the people out there know how important it is to know that putting the family ahead of this is really key to being successful, right?
Oh, absolutely. My wife can tell you it is a constant balancing act. You know, because both of us work full time. I'm full time worship leader, music minister, and you know, she works full time managing a gym. And then up until this past week, we were both full time in food ministry, and it's tough. It's not an easy thing. And she has, when she and I got married, I had 3 kids that I have all the time, and she had 2, and we had no plans of having any more anytime soon, but she's Catholic, so here we are.
Surprise. Oh, that's fantastic.
Thank you, Vatican.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah, and you know, her daughter is in company dance, so she's at dance about 5 nights a week, and Chad, her son, plays football, and then my son Josh plays football. I started my youngest son Zachary in t-ball this year, and my daughter Caitlin just started playing softball this year.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really a tag team effort through the week. You know, she'll start dropping kids, and I'm coming along behind picking them up. You know, when I get off of work. So, and you know, in addition to that, she's really helpful to me in trying to launch out and do evangelistic music. And you know, Brian kind of touched on that too. It's a do-it-yourself day and age.
Yeah.
It really is. Even if you do choose to go the direction of getting signed with a label, you got to do the legwork.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you got to build your website. You got to brand yourself on Facebook or Reverb Nation. And thankfully, there's a lot of helpful tools out there, but it's work. I mean, you got to work it, you know, and you need to be tweeting all the time, or you need to be communicating with your fans. You know, if you want to keep people interested, you got to give them something to be interested in. And to be honest with you, I'm not always the greatest at that, you know, because it's at times it's hard to focus.
Well, you constantly have to keep your mind on what you're doing and also telling people about what you're doing and fielding all of that feedback.
Absolutely.
Because between Twitter and Facebook and any number of other ways, there's a lot to keep up with. And it becomes a full-time job.
It really does. If I didn't have my wife helping me, there'd be no way I could pull it off, because I'm not the most computer savvy, and social media is just not something I really like to do. I'm learning to like it, because it's a necessary thing. But you have to stay in front of folks. And if I were to say anything to people looking to break into music, it would be get yourself a website, get yourself a presence. If you don't have a CD yet, put your demos on your webpage, just so people can see what you're in the middle of. Make it a project in the works, and let them come along for the ride. Anything that you can do to keep yourself in front of people is going to help you.
Good advice. I actually knew Luke before we did this show. I just met Josh tonight. But one of the things that we've done over the past few months in trying to help build that audience, doing things like streaming recording sessions. We've worked on a bunch of high-quality demos over the past few months for Luke in my studio, and being able to stream those sessions and let people see that kind of stuff in real time. Let people see the process of how it goes from a song that you can play for someone to something that they can then later download and listen to on an iPod while they're bopping around getting groceries or whatever. That whole process, for us, is sort of commonplace.
It is.
That whole thing of write the song, record the song, release the song, it becomes its own kind of grind. But you're right, being able to tell that story day in and day out in a way that people can grab a hold of the things that happen for you. And
absolutely,
because it's not them, they find it fascinating. It's very important.
Yeah, people want to see something that's real, and they want to see something that they can possibly aspire to. If you're somebody looking to get started, they're looking for somebody that's kind of paved the way, so to speak, a little bit, and not just, don't want to just limit it to fans, but, even music executives, they want to see somebody that's got a presence. If you can be uber talented and a great songwriter, have a great voice, but if you don't have some kind of following, if you don't have somewhat of a web presence, if you're not reaching out to people, if you're not getting out there and doing some kind of bookings or church events or concerts or what have you, most of them are going to tell you got some more work to do.
That's
and
right.
And really it's strange because you think about, well, if I can do all this stuff, why do I really need you guys?
Right.
Which is, I really think, is kind of the way that the music industry is heading to.
Exactly.
And even with all of that stuff, being able to brand yourself and be your own publicist and your own TV station, radio station, at the core of it, there still has to be some talent. And I don't know how well people on the video can tell, but everybody in this room will tell you, when that guy opens his mouth, there's a ton of sound that comes out, and it's great sound. So tell me, is that a cultivated skill, or is that natural talent? What is that? Because most people can't open their mouth and do what you just did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, praise God for that. He's blessed me with my abilities, and I just want to say that I'm so thankful to the Lord because, He has stuck with me through thick and thin. And when I started out, I think most people recognize that I could sing, but it's like with anything, your vocal cords are basically a muscle, and you can train them. You can improve them. You might not ever get to be the greatest singer in the world, but you can definitely improve from where you start out. I was talking to Russ Taff a while back, and he was telling me something that I did not know, but his vocal coach told him that the male voice really does not even mature until you're in your middle 30s.
Try telling that to some record executive trying to sell 12-year-old lunchbox.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think you can definitely improve. I mean, it does. Having natural talent is a great thing, but everybody's got to start somewhere. And work.
Well, can you show us a little more talent? Another song.
Sure. This next song I'm going to do is called "You Will Always Be." If I could take you back to where I've been, if you could see my life, then you would understand. If not for the Lord, I could truly say that all my hope would have slowly slipped away. But in the middle of those dark and lonely nights, your love broke through and filled my heart and rescued my life. And if I live to be 300, I will never forget those faithful loves that carried me through. And I know that even better days are waiting ahead. I just keep on holding on to you. You are everything that I'll ever need. You will always be. Just let me live my life to give you praise. May the words I speak bring glory to your name. There's nothing I can do, nothing I can say that would express the difference you have made. For I have felt the power of the cross, and I have seen His glory in a life that was lost. And if I live to be 300, I will never forget those faithful loves that carried me through. And I know that even better days are waiting ahead if I just keep on holding on to you. You are everything that I'll ever need. And if I live to be 300, I will never forget those faithful loves that carried me through. And I know that even better days are waiting ahead if I just keep on holding on to you. You are everything that I'll ever need. You will always be. Always be. Always, always be. Oh.
Beautiful.
That's LukeJamesOnline.com, y'all. Man, that's good stuff, buddy. Nice stuff, man.
Well, you know, one thing we've done on this show, and we're really excited about our new format. In the past, we've been having 3 writers, and we found that we really haven't gotten to know you guys the way we would really like to. So when you get this much talent, come on, guys, right? We've got some serious talent up here, and I applaud you guys. So when we get talent like this, we want to usurp as much of it as we can. We want to learn from you guys. And we're getting some questions in from the chat room. And I think Brian and I have decided, here that we want to ask some group questions.
Sure.
And let's try to get some knowledge from you guys. One of the first question is, what is the first thing you would tell a new artist or new writer trying to make it into business? Is there one thing each one of you have that you'd like to offer them? One single thing. The first thing you may think they would do. And that's from our chat room. Thank whoever that was. I don't know.
I personally have found that the best way to get yourself into the music career or get to a level that you want to be at, you have to meet people. You have to get out there, get to know people, put yourself out there, make some connections. And once you get to know those people that are already kind of established in the music, then they may be able to help you along the way, give you tips, and help you mature as a musician, as a songwriter, and as a singer. That's
going to raise a lot of questions for people sitting out there. They're asking, I know what they're asking. How the heck do you do that? How do you network with people? What are some things that you do to directly interface with people? How do you meet folks?
Just, go wherever you can, go to whatever kind of music you're picking, go, if there's a jam session 2 or 3 miles up the road, go network with those people. If there's a songwriters meeting or something anywhere near your town, go to that and just look and watch what they do and introduce yourself. And that's what I did. I had, I like to surround myself with other musicians and other singer-songwriters because, you never know what you can learn from each other. And that's the way that I kind of got where
Let me offer something new to you guys, and we're very excited about this. At AMP, the Association of Music Professionals, we're going to offer the largest platform for you guys and for all the new writers and artists to come in to network together where you can meet other writers, you can meet producers, you can meet artists, you can meet drummers like this guy, educators. So that is one tool we're going to be offering, and we're very excited about that.
Luke, is there one thing that you would tell maybe an aspiring artist or an aspiring songwriter that would help them get really started, both feet in?
I'll rob something I heard Zach Brown say in an interview, and it was 2 things, actually. He said, set yourself up where you can live poor.
There you go.
And number 2 is surround yourself with musicians that are better than yourself.
Amen to that.
Because, you can always glean something from those guys. I know when I did my first project, I'm really more of a singer by nature. That's what I put my focus on. I'm not a great guitar player, and I really use guitar as more of a vehicle for writing songs more than anything. But when I got in the studio and surrounded myself with the guys at the stature that they were, Scotty Wilbanks and Peter Stroud and David Huff and Mark Clay plays bass for a new song. The songs were good songs going into the studio, but the things that they brought to the table and the knowledge that I gleaned from those guys, just being able to spend some days with them was invaluable.
Cool. I have a question, Grady.
Okay, I have an answer. May be wrong.
And this is a question for anybody because we got a ton of songwriters up here, a ton of talented people. What's the biggest hurdle that you've had to overcome in doing what you do, whether it's a technical thing, a life issue? I'll start with Josh. What's the biggest hurdle that you've had to get over to be able to do what you're doing tonight?
Simply is, I'm a very busy person outside, not as busy as him, of course, If you got that many kids, you're very busy. But, I work full time, and I really, I'm the lead guitar player with my worship team at my church. And, it's just, my biggest hurdle's always been finding time to try and make sure that I do something to better myself. Because I'm always striving to better myself some way because I'm never satisfied. And I think that's one thing that really makes you better and better as you more and more experience is you have to be your own critic, and you have to, you have to really just push yourself, and you have to be honest with yourself, And so
That's the part that most people miss, though.
Yes,
being honest
very
with
true.
yourself.
That is.
very true.
It's way too easy to accept what your girlfriend says or your mom. And, you're wonderful, honey.
Or your grandmother.
Nah.
Is there a barometer, though, in that objectivity? Is there a barometer you use, other songwriters, other songs, anything? How do you measure what you're doing versus what someone who is great has done?
Well, personally, in my experience, I think Luke might have said it just a moment ago. You surround yourself with people that are better than you, and it's an opportunity just to learn. If anybody, I'm not ashamed to say I'm not the best singer-songwriter in the world. There's many that are better than me, and I will be quick to compare my stuff with theirs simply to try to make myself a better songwriter, to get tips, and to just learn different ways to write different songs.
Cool. So, Luke, other than having enough kids for 2 families, what's your biggest hurdle?
Oh, man, I would just say overcoming the hurdles that life can throw at you. In my limited amount of time on this earth, I have seen and been through some stuff. And, you can either let it get the better of you, you can let life beat you down, or you can use it as motivation, to get where you're going. And if it doesn't kill you, it definitely makes you stronger. Yeah. And I'll say this, actually, almost every song off my first album, Rise from Ruin, came out of a chaotic situation that I was going through in my life, and a really painful divorce, and the prospect of being left to raise my 3 kids by myself. And it was a scary time, but it was a time where I really drew close to the Lord. I love that story in Samuel about David at Ziklag, and he started out to start with, he was somewhere where he shouldn't have been. He was running around with a Philistine king, and they were out attacking Israel, and they didn't trust him to go into battle with them, so he headed back home. Well, while he was gone, Ziklag got burned to the ground, and so David returns, and all their stuff is gone. Their women, their children are gone. Their houses everything is decimated. And all of David's mighty men spoke of stoning him, So that's a bad time, But the Bible said that David encouraged himself in the Lord, And there's times in your life where there may not be anybody else to turn to but God. But the great thing about God is He's always there, and He's really, the only one you need. And that's exactly what David did. And he got up and he told the priest, bring the ephod, and he, inquired of the Lord about what to do. And to make a long story short, he went after those guys, and not only did he get his stuff back, but he got a lot of other people's stuff back as well. So, I think if you stick with God, if you remain faithful, if you put your trust in Him, He's going to bring you out of whatever situation life may throw at you.
That's deep, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that. And I appreciate you guys for coming and being here with us, Josh and Luke. And Chris down on the end.
Oh, yeah, Chris.
If he ever comes out of his shell, he's going to be a heck of a guy.
Yeah.
And as much of a geek as I am, I never did get the Luke Vader thing until you said it. So I kind of feel like I missed out on my opportunity.
Well, guys, what a great evening. And we're going to wrap it up here in a second. But before we do, we have one more question from the chat room. And, Brian, this is directed to you.
Okay.
And I'm glad we got another one because it's just been great having you here tonight. So tell us what you feel the importance of education is, of having a well-rounded education. Because I know this guy has gone to school and studied, and he's well-rounded, and it's really been a benefit to you. I know that. So share just, if you can, briefly what that means to you.
I honestly think that education is everything. And when I say education, I'm not just talking about books and videos and things like that. I'm also talking about the real world. These guys brought an interesting point up of I call it putting one foot in front of the other. Because when you do that, you're going to fall. You're going to stumble. You're going to make some mistakes. But if you're not putting one foot in front of the other, you don't have that education either. It's not just what you can find in books and on websites and magazines and whatever it is that you're getting. It's based off what you do. So education is paramount to success.
Exactly.
You've got to know not just what to do, but what to not do. And part of that what not to do is actually doing it and seeing the fruit of that, which is falling flat on your face.
Well, Brian, it has been a fun night having you here. And guys, I just can't thank you enough. Having men that just love the Lord with all this talent up here on this stage like this, I don't know. God must really love me. That's all I can say. Because I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And we thank you very much for watching Evolution of a Song. This show is a free service provided to all for entertainment and educational purposes. We at AMP TV certainly enjoy bringing it to you. AMP TV is looking for producers. If you would like to become an AMP TV producer and contribute to the growth of our show, go to amptv.bbnow.org. Once again, that address is amptv.bbnow.org. You may be asking yourself, why would I want to become an AMP TV producer? This is your chance to support the entertainment and information you are watching for free. No tricks, no gimmicks. We would like to offer you an opportunity to become a producer on AMP TV, where your name will be included in the credits as a producer and supporter of the show. In addition, you will receive a limited free membership to AMP, the Association of Music Professionals. As a producer of the show, there will be special invitations to AMP events, and you will be personally involved in the future of the Association of Music Professionals. So go to amptv.bbnow.org and become a producer today. We look forward to working with you. Thanks for watching Evolution of a Song. We hope you have enjoyed the show as much as we have enjoyed bringing it to you. For more information about the artists featured on this show, you can contact Josh through his email, joshvickery1@yahoo.com. For Luke James, go to lukejamesmusic@yahoo.com. For more information about the Association of Music Professionals and the services provided to the members, visit myamp.org. Be sure to friend us on Facebook and Twitter. Also remember to visit myamp.org for updated information, blogs, and membership opportunities with the Association of Music Professionals. Join us on Justin.tv, AMP TV for future broadcasts and to view archives of our past shows. Look for more music, video clips of our shows on YouTube. Search for Evolution of a Song, and we're going to close now with Amazing Grace.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns, unending love, amazing